Alright. Let's try this out. Nice! Yay! We finished everything. You've unlocked a new character. The Empty Nester. Completed Gunsmith level 4, Shoemaker level 4, Single Family Home, Consulate level 4, and Clinic level 4. Very nice. Alright, let's see. We are very low on wheat. Single Family Home. House for the Empty Nester. So what exactly do I get for upgrading one of these? Alright, let's do this. Rearrange, no. Expand. Oh, I've got to. Ah, crap. We gotta bounce it, chat. All right, so I'll have to do that on the next one. Okay. All right. Stew. Let's see. What are you? The Empty Nester starts with a ghost. Finally, some peace and quiet. No baby balls. Okay, so. That's kind of dark. Chat, an empty, sometimes, for any of you younger generation, an empty nest is something that is an old saying that refers to like a home where the kids are no longer there. Like maybe they've moved out, all right? That's the hope. They grew up and moved away. But they have no baby balls and they start with a ghost. So I think the implication here is that he had kids and they all died. Each shot shoots multiple instances of one equipped special ball. Alright. Okay. I don't have high hopes for my first shot in the desert. We still got more blueprints to get in Snowy Shores. So, let's just try the desert with the Empty Nester and see what it's like. And hopefully when we get back, we can do more construction. Mike, I got my Griffin yesterday, yours too. Nice! Congratulations! That is a expensive accomplishment. Now you gotta practice using the dang thing. What the heck? Some of them are moving around. That's illegal. So, I notice... Oh, wait, okay, no, yeah. So it is duplicating. So any of the balls we get, it's duplicating them. The archer, dude. Vision. Game's music is amazing. Agree. Still can't figure out if I should be flapping space on a climb after a dive when using the Griffin. Quite annoying. Wing Guild, W-I-N-G. If you Google like Wing GW2 or Wing Guild GW2, they're all about mastering the Griffin, if that is something that is of interest to you. Alright, all our orbs, our bowls are max level. Now we see if we can do any evolutions next time we get one of those. Oh, I got poisoned. Healer's Effigy. First mini-boss spawning. Okay, it's a bigger version of the little laser things that we've been seeing. Wait, is it not moving down the track? It seems like the mini-boss actually stopped there in the middle, which is good for me. Storm. Random question bug, did you main gnomes in WoW? I mostly played Horde, so no. So, okay. In vanilla, the thing I played most was an Orc Shaman. I was Enhancement. I have fond memories of going through Molten Core, and people would usually put me in a group with rogues, and I'd be dropping, like, Grace of Air and Wind Fury and, you know, totems like that, and I was just friends with the DPS because I buffed them up. In Burning Crusade, I wanted to play Warlock, but Horde's got access to Paladins, and you kind of needed Paladins for things like Mount Hyjal, and all our tanks sucked, so I started tanking even though I didn't really want to, because I was the only one in our guild capable of like successfully leading bear runs in Zul'Aman. Then in Wrath of the Lich King, Death Knights came out, and we were like competing for server first raids, and the Malagos fight came out. And Malagos required Death Grip, a mechanic that only Death Knights had. So we had to level a few Death Knights. So I was like, all right, I'm already playing Paladin tank, and I don't even want to do this, so I'll play Death Knight tank. And so I ended up playing that, and then that was kind of what I stayed on. And from that, and then for like the next 5, 6, 7 years, I was just a Death Knight tank for all of our stuff. Like, I had ults and stuff that I played from time to time, but I was mostly the Death Knight main tank for the guild. Oh, the little healer statue thing is nice. I dig it. This is my first time trying it. Reroll. Pressure valve. Fusion. Storm already passes through things. Let's try putting the laser on it. Tiny Yoda thing obsession came out in Guild Wars 2. Oh, I didn't say the race I was playing. No, I was undead. So I was an orc shaman, and then a blood elf paladin, because blood elves are the only thing that could be paladin, and then undead death knight. So if I died, I was a dead undead death knight. Whoa, a duo boss. They're burbs. Alright, you see how their base is like spinning? That's actually extremely impactful because that changes the angle that the balls bounce off of. Well, the effigies are helping push them a bit, which is nice. Ah, crap. Ah, crap. I think we die here. A little projectile got me. Alright. Mukluk up ball combos. No, I want to discover them. Let's see. Wheat Harvester. Juju. That's fine. That was a character I never played on a map I never played. I didn't really expect to do amazing there. Alright. Alright. Nice. I like our little build hallway. Alright. Farm. Okay, so that's done. Put that there. Alright, more passive income. Alright, so gunsmith level 5 is max, so I guess these buildings cap out at level 5. Okay. you want to weave for this. Okay. All right, that's good for now. All right. So this guy, this is a new one, is the only one I've never beat on Boneyard. So we'll do Boneyard now. Rank S is the highest. Well, yeah, I figured. Most games with ranks go like some number up to A and then S, because that makes total sense. And then sometimes there's double S and then triple S. And then ultra rare triple S waifu. Earthquake. What about SA rank? I haven't heard of that one. Sounds like someone who failed triple S school. Oh my, hold on. Chat. I got a story for you guys. Oh man, I've got a story. Okay. All right. Let me set the stage here. Last night, it is probably like 2 in the morning, okay? I'm staying up way past my bedtime, but it's Friday night, so who cares? And I was reading Mangoes, chat. I was reading Mangoes. And the power goes out for a few seconds. And I've got a battery backup on my computer, so I'm like, okay. Then it comes back on. I'm like, all right, I have to fix some of the clocks later. I'm gonna go back to reading my Mango. It happens a second time. Fine, whatever. I'm like, fine. I finished reading whatever I was reading, and then I was like, all right. It's time for bed. I'm up too late. So I go to bed. Now, in our household, I'm a heavy sleeper. So my wife will get up, she'll put on full plate mail and just start stomping around and making phone calls right next to the bed. I will sleep through all of it. My wife, however, if I drop a breadcrumb near her, she will wake up and not be able to fall back asleep. So I have learned the skills of a ninja when it comes to going to bed later than her. All right? I am undetectable because I don't want trouble, chat. All right? So I am performing great courtesies to not wake her up. So I am ninja-ing my way to bed, and I get under the covers, and I'm like, all right, I'm starting to try to, fall asleep, and the power goes out. And the reason I know this is we have a noisemaker in our room, chat. You got like a white noise machine, right? We got like an air purifier that isn't actually purifying the air because we don't maintain it. It's just there for the white noise. It shuts off. And I'm like, the power goes out again. And my wife, apparently pulled out of her slumber by the absence of white noise, despite the fact that she's like deep in REM sleep or whatever it's called, suddenly goes, and just does this like gas banshee wail thing. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, because it's like pitch black, and she's like a foot next to me and does that. And I'm like, and I didn't even have time to think. I just went, it's okay. And she's like, huh? And I'm like, the power went out. The power's going out. And she's like, oh, I didn't know. And I'm like, of course you didn't know. Your REM sleep wasn't signed up for a subscription fee. There's no way you would know. I'm like, all right, that was kind of terrifying. So I'm laying there and I'm trying to fall asleep. But I've been using a white noise machine for a very long time, chat. It is difficult for me to fall asleep right now. And I'm laying there and I'm laying there and I'm laying there. And also our air conditioner is turned off, so like it's getting really hot in the room. And I'm like, what can I do about this? And I'm thinking, maybe the power's come back on and the circuit breaker got flipped. So I'm like, all right, well, getting out of bed is going to disturb her. So I might as well just announce what I'm doing because she's going to be like, what the heck are you doing? So I'm like, hey, I'm going to go check the circuit breaker and just see if it's the breaker for the bedroom. And she's like, it's the whole house. And in my brain, I'm like, how would you know? Like, all you did is wake up, scream, and then I told you what was going on. You don't know. And then, like, all that's going through my head. I haven't said a word. And then the power comes back on. And I'm like, oh, good. I don't have to do anything. So I lay back down. Because I had stood up, and then I got back in the bed, and I laid back down. And I'm laying there, and as I'm laying, and my left side is on the pillow, and I'm hearing this high-pitched noise. I'm like, what? I get up, and I don't hear it. I lay down, and I hear it. And I'm like, do I have tinnitus? What is that? And I'm hearing this noise, and I keep hearing it. And I keep trying to, like, ignore it and find a position where I don't hear. I'm like, what is? I don't know what's happening right now, but I don't hear it when I sit up. So I'm sitting here just like acquiring tinnitus, and finally I was like, all right, I'm tossing and turning a lot. I'm gonna hear about it to no end tomorrow. I'm gonna go downstairs and crash on the couch and deal with whatever's going on. So I get up and go into ninja mode. I don't think she noticed this part. And I go to the door to the bedroom, and I open the bedroom door, and I immediately hear the noise louder. I'm like, it's real. And like, chat, I've never been so excited that a noise in my head was real. I'm like, it's real. It's something downstairs. There was something downstairs that was beeping, and I could only hear it when I laid down and put my left side against the bed. And I'm like, all right. And I also see that my son's light in his bedroom is turned on. I'm like, okay, he's gotten woken up by this too, and he doesn't know what's going on. So I'm like, all right, whatever, fine. So I go downstairs, and there was a battery thing that was going off because of the power and I'm like, okay. So I turn off that thing. I'm like, much better. I'm like, all right. So I grab like a blanket and a pillow. I'm like, I'm gonna crash on the couch because I'm not tired at all, and I don't want to disturb them. So I crash on the couch, and I start to fall asleep, and Chip comes running up and lays down next to me because Chip is usually the door to my bedroom is closed. I'm asleep. He's not allowed in there. So Chip comes up and he's next to me. I'm like, all right. So I'm laying there, and then I feel like, I don't know if like a second passed or minutes passed, but I feel like someone's watching me. You know, like that weird feeling. And I look over, and Chip's got his back to me, and I'm like, it's not Chip. I turn over, and there's the silhouette of my 13-year-old son standing there, and he's just staring at me like a serial killer. And I'm like, Jesus! I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I heard a noise. And like, so he had come down because he had heard a noise. And like, I don't know if he had just arrived or if he'd been standing there for a couple of moments and was like trying to decide if he should wake me up. But I woke up because I was like, something's staring at me. And I look at him, and he's right there. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, all right, look, the power went out. It set some alarms off, and I bothered Mom while I was trying to fix things. So I'm just laying down here in case something else happens. And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, great. All right, go back to bed. And he's like, okay. So he goes back to bed. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I lay back down. I fall asleep again. Now, it might have been a minute. It might have been an hour. I don't know. But I start like hearing like. And I, like, in my brain that was forced to play 25 scary games for October, it's gore. I'm thinking someone's body is being ripped apart behind me. What is going on? And it pulls me out of sleep, and I turn around, Chip is taking a bath right behind my head. And I'm like, oh my freaking God. Could you not? It's like 5 in the morning, and he laid down behind my head and was like, it's bath time. And I was like, all right. Every other member of this household has woken me up with fear. Like, my wife screaming like a banshee, my son acting like a serial killer, and then Chip just like, stirring macaroni and cheese right behind my head. And I'm just like, could y'all leave me alone, please? So I fell back asleep again, and then like my wife wakes me up at like, I don't know, like 9 a.m. and she's like, why are you down here? And I'm like, I will fuss at you later. I'm like, leave me alone. Because I had like 5 hours of sleep with 3 interruptions or something like that. How was your sleep? It was trash. It was trash. But yeah, I tell her the story. Dude, I thought she was going to have an accident. She was laughing so hard when I told her the noise she made. I was like, yeah, so, yeah, you woke up screaming. I didn't scream. And I'm like, you went, Ooh! And she's like, she's dying laughing. And she's like, that's more of a gasp. And I'm like, yeah, that's a gasp of someone dying. Like, and I was like, look, we need to build your tolerance for scary. And I've got 25 spooky games you can play so that your first guttural instinct is no longer that. You know, like, we gotta change your fight or flight programming to fight. You don't have enough I don't have enough gold. I'm poor. Well, this'll buff Earthquake. That's fine. Alright, that's it. Now you guys know the story of my awesome sleep last night. Vision. That was last night. Yeah, that was all last night / this morning. It's a great evening. Wait, did I choose the right here? Okay, yeah, this is Empty Nester, okay. From the back, I thought that was the helmet of the first guy. Healer's Effigy was pretty clutch last time. I'll get that again. Feels like Healer's Effigy heals a lot faster than the Vampire Ball.
Have my Prime sub, Mr. Muck.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Do that one. Vampire needs a combo. I know. I have the combo. Didn't you see when I moused over it? I'd already discovered that one. I want to try to level up before... Okay, now we pick it up. My question is, what were you reading? What was I reading? Oh, the manga thing? Dude, what was the name of it? It was a weird one. It was one that was like rather short. Like it was like 50 chapters, and I binged read the whole thing last night. I would have to check my search history to see what the name of it was. It was about a guy who he was desperate, and he was like he made a wish at a shrine that he could get a girlfriend. And the shrine's like, oh, sorry, can't. You have no one destined to love you. And he's like, oh my god. And they're like, you know what, though? There might be something I could do. And they, like, take the, like, strands of fate, and they tie his with some other people. And they're like, there you go. You're bonded to these people now. It's one of these 6 girls will like you. And so he's... like, okay, and I'm like, okay, so this is like a romance thing. And then, that night, he's trying to figure out how he's gonna do this, and suddenly his neck snaps and he dies. And he comes, over the next few chapters, he comes to the horrifying realization that because his fate is bound to theirs, if anything happens to any of them, like they die, he dies. And so on day 1, he has to figure out which one of them is about to get hit by a truck. On day 2, he has to stop one of them from, like, having a horrifying experience where they end up, like, taking themselves out. And it went from, like, a rom-com to, like, a murder mystery type thing. It was a wild ride, but it was, like, 50... You know, hold on a sec, for the people that actually care. Let me see. What was it called? What was it called?